Welcome to Nurse on Call. This podcast provides emotional support and general education from a registered nurse. It is not medical or mental health treatment and does not replace care from a licensed provider. If you are experiencing a mental health emergency or an immediate danger, please contact emergency services or a crisis hotline in your area. Always seek care from a qualified healthcare or mental health professional for individual concerns. Thank you. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today we're talking about something so many people experience, usually alone, usually late at night. The spiral, Googling, reassurance, and what ifs. The spiral. It starts small, a sensation, a symptom, a thought, and before you know it, you're deep in Google, scrolling medical forums, imagining worst-case scenarios, and your heart is racing. If you've ever said, "I just wanted reassurance, and now I feel worse," this episode is for you. Take a slow breath with me. Let's gently unpack the spiral. How the spiral begins. The spiral rarely starts dramatically. It often begins with something ordinary like a headache, a skipped heartbeat, a strange sensation, a new body ache, a moment of dizziness, change in digestion, and fatigue that feels different. You notice it, and your brain pauses. Is that normal? That moment, that tiny pause, is where anxiety enters. Because the anxious brain does not like uncertainty. It wants immediate clarity. So it reaches for the fastest tool available, Google. When you search a symptom, your brain believes it's being proactive. It says, if I gather enough information, I'll feel safe. And in theory, that makes sense. Information equals control. Except the internet does not offer balanced reassurance. It offers rare diagnoses, worst-case statistics, forms filled with frightening personal stories, complex medical language without context. Your anxious brain does not filter for probability. It filters for threat. So when it sees a rare but serious possibility, it latches onto it. Not because it's likely, but because it's dangerous, and your brain is wired to prioritize danger. The physiological shift. As you scroll, something happens physically. Your heart rate increases, your breath shortens, your muscle tightens, adrenaline rises. Now your body feels different. You're more activated, more uncomfortable, and your brain says, see, something is wrong. But what's happening is anxiety physiologically. Stress hormones responding to fear, not necessarily illness. This is how the loop forms. Symptom, searching, fear, physical reaction, more fear, more searching. It's not irrational. It's a nervous system trying to protect you. Sometimes after Googling, you seek reassurance. You text someone, you ask your partner, you call a nurse line, you schedule an appointment. And when someone says, it's probably nothing, you feel relief for a little while. But then the relief fades and doubt creeps in. What if they missed something? What if it's too early to detect? What if this is the beginning? This is the reassurance trap. Reassurance feels soothing in the moment, but it teaches your brain that uncertainty is dangerous. So next time uncertainty appears, the brain says, "We need reassurance again." And the cycle repeats. I have a sibling who, after the age of 40, began noticing changes in her body. It started simply with what felt like heartburn. If you've ever experienced heartburn, the first thing you usually ask yourself is, "Ugh, what did I eat? Did something cause this?" Naturally, you become more cautious. You start paying closer attention to your body. But for her, the symptoms didn't go away. Instead, they continued, and eventually she felt heartburn with almost everything she ate. Like many of us do when symptoms don't improve, she turned to Google. After countless nights searching for answers, she scheduled an appointment with her doctor and went through an extensive gastroenterology workup. She was ultimately diagnosed with H. pylori, a bacterial infection affecting the digestive system. But even after that diagnosis, something had shifted. Every new symptom, back pain, body aches, changes in urine, sent her right back to Google as her first source for answers. The power of what if. Health anxiety lives inside two words. What if? What if it's cancer? What if it's my heart? What if it's serious? What if I ignore something important? What if this is the last normal day? The mind jumps from sensation to catastrophe in seconds, not because you're dramatic, but because your brain is wired for worst-case preparation. In evolutionary terms, assuming danger kept people alive. But in modern life, that wiring becomes overwhelming. Because not every sensation is a signal. Most are neutral. But anxiety struggles to accept neutral. Here's the deeper truth. The spiral is less about the symptom and more about uncertainty. Uncertainty feels unsafe to an anxious brain, so it tries to eliminate it completely. But health, by nature, is uncertain. Even the healthiest person cannot guarantee no future illness, no unexpected event, no changes. Trying to eliminate uncertainty is like trying to stop the weather. It doesn't work. But increasing your tolerance for uncertainty, that is possible. And that's where healing begins. Why nighttime makes it worse? Health anxiety often spikes at night. Why? Because the world is quiet, distractions are gone, you're alone with your thoughts, your body feels more noticeable, and fatigue lowers resilience. A small sensation in daylight might be ignored. At 11 p.m., it feels enormous. And that's when the spiral begins. If this happens to you, know this. Night amplifies fear. It doesn't confirm danger. Breaking the spiral gently. We don't break anxiety by force. We break it by pattern interruption. Here are some supportive strategies. 1. Pause before searching. When you feel the urge to Google, pause. Ask yourself, am I regulated right now? If your heart is racing, your mind is not in problem-solving mode. Regulate first. Take slow, deep breaths. Long exhales. Feet on the floor and tell yourself, I can research later. Right now, I'm calming my body. 2. Create a 24-hour rule. Unless symptoms are severe or emergent, consider waiting 24 hours before searching. Many minor symptoms resolve. Waiting builds tolerance for uncertainty, and it builds trust in your body. 3. Limit trusted resources. If you must search, choose one trusted medical source. Avoid forums. Avoid comment sections. Avoid anecdotal horror stories. Your brain does not need dramatic narratives. 4. Expand the thought. When your mind says, "This is serious," ask, what are 3 other possible explanations? For example, chest tightness could be stress, muscle tension, acid reflux, or anxiety. Not denial, expansion. Catastrophic thinking narrows, calm thinking widens. 5. Reduce reassurance seeking. Instead of immediately asking someone, try sitting with uncertainty for 10 minutes, then 20, then longer. You're building emotional muscle, and that muscle reduces spiraling over time. If you've spiraled before, if you've lost sleep, if you've convinced yourself of something terrifying, you are not foolish. You were afraid. Fear deserves compassion, not shame. Your brain was trying to protect you from harm. It just didn't know when to stop. Here's a grounding moment. If you feel yourself in the spiral right now, pause. Look around. Name 5 things you see. 4 things you feel physically. 3 things you hear. 2 things you smell. And 1 thing you taste. Come back to this moment. Right now, in this moment, are you safe? Most likely the answer is yes, and that matters. Before we close today, I just want to say this. If you've ever gone down that spiral, late at night, searching symptom after symptom, feeling your chest tighten with every answer you read, you are not alone. What starts as trying to understand your body can quickly turn into fear, into overthinking, and into anxiety that feels hard to turn off. The truth is, when you care deeply about your health or the health of someone you love, of course you're going to look for answers. That doesn't make you dramatic. It makes you human. But you deserve more than fear-driven answers. You deserve support, reassurance, and a space where your experiences are heard without judgment. If this episode resonated with you, if you've ever found yourself overwhelmed, anxious, or stuck in that cycle, I want to open up this space for you. You can share your story with me, not to be judged, not to be dismissed, but to be heard. You can email me at nurseoncallpod@gmail.com. Whether it's something you're going through right now, something you've been carrying for a while, or even just a moment where you didn't feel like yourself, I read every message. And you never know, your story might help someone else feel less alone too. As always, take a deep breath before you move on with your day. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. Just take it one moment at a time. And I'll be here with you every step of the way. Please continue to be kind to your body and even kinder to your heart. I'll see you next week. Nurse on Call.